In the headlines, Aid Bank makes a profit in the last financial year despite lingering impact of Tropical Storm Erica. A motion challenging the Riot Act over 2015 Salisbury protests to be heard in May, and major repair work on the cards for two sporting infrastructures here soon. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details right after this.
There are signs everywhere. Pay attention whether you're male or female. Visit your health center to get screened. It's a preliminary test to determine if you are exposed to the HIV virus, an STI, or tuberculosis. Some people who are HIV positive also have tuberculosis. But there's hope. Tuberculosis can be cured. And yes, you can live a full life with HIV. Talk to your doctor. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB, HIV. Encourage everyone to get tested.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome back. First up, a hearing expected on May 24 over the constitutional motion challenging the Riot Act in the 2015 Salisbury protests. Idona John Baptist explains.
High Court Judge Bernie Stevenson has ruled in favor of a motion filed by attorney Cara Shillingford challenging the constitutionality of the Riot Act. The matter is in relation to protest action in May and June 2015 at Salisbury, where over 50 people were arrested and charged in accordance with the Riot Act. Senior counsel Anthony Astafan, who's representing the state in the matter, had filed an application for the judge to strike out the motion. Attorney Shillingford told Channel 5 News she is happy the matter is moving forward.
Well, today Justice Stevenson delivered a decision in favor of the people of Salisbury. The judge dismissed the application filed by the state and ruled that our constitutional motion should be heard. So she fixed a date for the first hearing of the constitutional motion, which is the 24th of May 2018. I've done thorough research into this area of law, and I am confident that that the court hearing the matter would see our position and should rule in our favor, because the provisions of the Riot Act are barbaric. Some of the provisions refer to or give basically immunity to persons who in certain circumstances kill or maim during a riot, and this has no place in the 21st century.
This motion marks the first time the constitutionality of the Riot Act is being legally challenged.
In the constitutional case, we have 30 defendants. In terms of the number of persons who were served with summons or persons to whom summons were issued, I think the number is around 50-something, over 50 persons were issued with summons. All of those persons happen to be from the community of Salisbury, persons who live in the vicinity of where the protest took place. And that is despite the fact that there were several persons from other communities who were in the vicinity of that area. Only persons from Salisbury were selected and were prosecuted.
Following the Salisbury protests, Attorney General Levi Peter had announced that the public order legislation was expected to be taken to Parliament in 2017, with a view to updating it, saying that it was not fit for purpose. He explained in the review that offences such as riots and violent disorders would be more clearly spelt out and brought into statutory clarity. Attorney Shillingford addressed the implications that could have on her case.
Well, if the Riot Act is reviewed and it is taken to Parliament, then the Director of Public Prosecution has the option of discontinuing the case against the people of Salisbury. Really and truly, if it is that the Riot Act is repealed, then the case would have to automatically fall away.
Okay. Next up, a challenging financial year is how 2016-2017 is being described by the Agricultural, Industrial and Development Bank. Andrea Louis tells us more.
Chairman of the Board of Directors at the Aid Bank, Martin Charles, explained that the impact of Tropical Storm Erica in 2015 has continued to affect the financial performance of the institution. Charles was speaking at the Aid Bank's 25th Annual General Meeting on Wednesday, held under the theme, Committed to Building a Resilient Dominica.
Operating in a small, open economy, and given the ongoing macroeconomic challenges following Tropical Storm Erica, this continues to impact negatively the bank's loan portfolio quality and overall financial performance. The bank's mandate of promoting economic development, which it has done, particularly in the tourism and industry sectors, puts it at risk of a feeble portfolio quality due to the deterioration performance of the sectors.
Charles says despite these challenges, the bank was able to realize a profit at the end of the last financial year.
I am pleased this morning to report a net profit on operations of EC 0.48 million as at June 30th, 2017. Despite the challenges faced by Venezuela, the bank was able to mobilize a second drawdown of funds from Bandes in the amount of US 3.97 million, and together with funds received from the government of Dominica under the CBI program for agriculture, tourism and manufacturing, we were able to increase the overall loan approvals over the last financial year by 21.5%. with a value of 16.8 million.
The board chairman says going forward, the bank will engage a strategic development plan, which is in keeping with its aim of building a resilient Dominica.
The main outcome of the strategic plan is to achieve an effective and efficient institution with favorable liquidity, a high-quality loan portfolio, empowered human resource, optimal visibility, and expanding market share. We are committed to building resilience to the effects of climate change by ensuring that consideration of climate change risk is reflected throughout our operation. Concurrently, the bank has also revised its organizational structure, which caters for a realignment of activities and a leaner and more efficient organization.
During the ceremony, Charles was presented with an award in recognition of 18 years of service to the bank. Earlier this year, he was declared Dominica's resident ambassador to the People's Republic of China. Former employee Romalda Hyacinth was also recognized on Wednesday for her 29-year stint at the Aid Bank.
In more matters of economic activity, at first, Jazz and Creole was on, then it was off, and now it's on again. Just last week, we received word that this year's Jazz and Creole was cancelled after authorities said the product was being reviewed with the possibility of staging it this year, but it appears now that it will go ahead. The latest press release from the DDA on Wednesday says Trinidadian string sensation Xavier Strings and Dominica's Mikhail Henderson will headline what is being billed by organizers as one of the best ever Dominica Jazz and Creole. The release goes on to say the 2018 edition is carded for Sunday, May 20th at the historic Cabrits National Park. The release says patrons of Dominica's Jazz and Creole can expect a real treat at this year's main stage, which also features several fringe events at venues across the island and in particular the north. The DDA is promising patrons stirring Caribbean rhythms by the Xavier Sisters as well as Mikhail's voice. Attendees are encouraged to display their patriotism by incorporating some aspect of Creole in their outfits for Jazz and Creole 2018, and in doing so, a lucky individual will win a ticket to this year's World Creole Music Festival in October. Range Developments are the headline sponsor for this year's event. They are the developers of the Cabrits Resorts Kempinski, which will be opened in 2019. In more top stories, Dominica Coconut Product Successes Limited has penetrated the regional market 2 months since the company has resumed manufacturing. Idona Jean-Baptiste has that story.
With a fresh approach and new branding, Dominica Coconut Products Successes Limited merchandise has emerged on the market. When the company was acquired from Colgate-Palmolive in April 2017, that meant that their branding on the existing line of DCP products would not be inherited by its successor. General Manager of DCP Successes Limited, Damian Sorrendo, says as a new company, its operations are limited to soap manufacturing for now.
2 months ago, February 26th to be exact, that's when we officially started our production. Right now we're producing the Better Blue laundry soap, that's the brand name, B-E-T-T-A, Better Blue. And we're soon to start up the production of the germicidal soap, which is a bath soap. It's like a carbolic soap. The brand name for that is going to be Reddy, R-E-D-D-Y. So we're soon going to be starting up production of that other line of bath soaps. For now, for the foreseeable future, I would say for the first 2 years at least, we're just going to be focused on soaps. And we have some things down the pipeline, but I'm not free to reveal that yet. But we do have some other products we're going to be diversifying probably from year 3 onwards.
The company is in the brand development phase on its main line of bath soaps, preparing to offer a product that will stand out in an already saturated market.
Entering the marketplace as a brand new manufacturer is challenging, and we are experiencing those challenges like anybody else. The good thing is that we have some goodwill. People know about the story of the company. We have some relationships that we can build on as well. And I think there is some sort of goodwill towards Dominica as well. Dominica was once known as the soap making capital of the Caribbean. And then with Hurricane Maria, I think there's some goodwill towards Dominica, and people are looking forward to seeing Dominica get back on its feet. The volumes are still relatively low compared to what was being done here when the factory was full steam with Colgate.
Still, DCP Successes Limited has already secured several regional markets, with Jamaica as its largest purchaser.
Since February, I'm just going to give you some numbers now. We've basically exported 644 cases to St. Lucia, 500 cases each to St. Vincent and St. Kitts. We've done 1,150 cases to Grenada, 2,280 cases to Guyana and Trinidad, and we've done 4,560 cases to Jamaica. A full container load is actually 2,280. So this would mean Guyana, Trinidad got a full container load, and Jamaica got 2 container loads of soap between that period. And Dominica, we currently have 492 cases on the market here.
Plans are in the works to expand its reach in other parts of the Caribbean.
But as you know, the market is really in the region. Dominica is a small market in the big scheme of things. So if you look, you see Jamaica is our biggest market, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Guyana, and obviously to a lesser extent the OECS. We're looking to export to some additional countries and are just working on distributors, getting distributor agreements in place in those countries. So for instance, I'll give you an example, Barbados and Antigua, we're currently working on some distributor agreements there.
The company is owned by the Nassif family in partnership with professional regional investors. The investors received a $2 million loan provided by the government of Dominica to start up the business. Idona Jean-Baptiste, Channel 5 News.
In related news, management of DCP Successes Limited plans to grow staffing as the business picks up. Human Resource Manager Sherma Desiree George told Channel 5 News the company is operating with 32 employees, a drop from when Colgate-Palmolive ran the business. George has been in this position for the past 18 years under the management of Colgate-Palmolive.
I worked before on the Colgate as a quality supervisor. So right here I'm back in quality, ensuring that everything is okay for a product. On the Colgate we had as much as 300. And then eventually came down to about around 120 after restructuring. So when we closed in 2015, we closed with about, I think it was 96 to 98 employees. Here we are small. We started small, but then again we are a new company.
The Colgate-Palmolive managed Dominica Coconut Products closed up shop in November 2015 due to the impact of Tropical Storm Erica, making 96 employees redundant. Desiree George says there will be more employment opportunities at the new company.
As we get more established into the business, then there are opportunities to create employment for a lot more persons. It's a new company, but all about quality, giving the customer value for money. It's about developing formulas and ensuring that before you produce the soap, you have to do something called pilot and testing that you do in the lab to ensure that all your formulas are correct, they are placed on stability, and then you do your product and then you release it to the market.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. When we come back, one local manufacturing company praised for its efforts in regional market penetration.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners, Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more. Smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
Thanks for staying with us. DCP Successes Limited is being commended for filling a vacuum on the regional market. Director of Trade Martin Walters says the company positioning itself to take advantage of this CARICOM market is a move in the right direction for the trade sector in Dominica post-Hurricane Maria.
DCP Successes Limited, the new company, they have reported to me that they are also involved in the exportation of what is called soap chips for the manufacture of soap across the region. We don't have soap chips in CARICOM. So the countries across the region would import it from countries such as Indonesia, and they would use it to be able to compress it and create or manufacture soap. DCP Successes Limited saw the market opportunity and engaged it, and so they are the sole producer of soap chips within the region.
Walter says government will put the proper mechanisms in place to ensure Dominica reaps the benefits from this regional trade.
We at the Division of Trade have spoken to the CARICOM Secretariat to put all the protective procedures and protocols in place so that they could take full advantage of that market opportunity.
In other news, Dominica's Prime Minister was among Caribbean leaders present at a meeting with UK Prime Minister Theresa May on Tuesday. During the meeting, Prime Minister May apologized for any anxiety caused and explained how much the UK valued the contribution made by members of the Windrush generation. The Windrush generation would be the first large group of Caribbean migrants to arrive in the UK after World War II. This wave of newcomers faced social and economic exclusion upon arrival. They were regularly denied employment and accommodation on the basis of race. Based on a CNN report, in recent years, successive British governments have sought to appear tough on illegal immigration, and the descendants of the Windrush generation are now struggling to prove a citizenship status they previously took for granted. In essence, the children of the Windrush generation are being told they might not be British after all. Theresa May says those who arrived from the Caribbean before 1973 and lived there permanently without significant periods of time away in the last 30 years have the right to remain in the UK, as do the vast majority of long-term residents who arrived later. The British Prime Minister said she didn't want anybody to be in any doubt about their right to remain in the United Kingdom. She went on to say that she wanted to dispel any impression that her government was in some sense clamping down on Commonwealth citizens, particularly those from the Caribbean who have built a life in the UK. A release from the British High Commission in Barbados says a new dedicated team will be set up within the Home Office for people who need support gathering evidence of their right to be in the UK. The release states that no one affected will be charged for the documentation which proves their right. A dedicated phone line has also been created, and the Home Office has published a fact sheet on their website which outlines the rights of Commonwealth citizens. And the new loan facilities to benefit homeowners will be available at the Aid Bank. The announcement was made by Deputy Prime Minister Reginald Austrie when he addressed the 25th Annual General Meeting of the Aid Bank on Wednesday.
Government will continue to provide special lines where these are deemed necessary. In that regard, the government is making available a line of credit to the Aid Bank to lend to owners who need to rehabilitate their damaged homes in a more resilient manner. These funds will be made available to supplement insurance payouts that they would have received. A similar line will be made available to the Government Housing Loans Board.
As regards other special loan facilities, Austrie says these have shown mixed results. However, government and the Aid Bank are working to ensure more people benefit from these facilities.
I am advised that the performance of the special facilities provided by the government has been mixed. Government has participated in discussions on the matter with the loans to the hotel and manufacturing sectors, with a view to determining how these facilities can be deemed to be more accessible to the respective sectors. In the case of the hotels, an amendment was made to the original agreement to allow for a wider range of activities to be financed post-Hurricane Maria. The bank advises that inquiries into this facility have since increased. In respect to the manufacturing sector, discussions are still ongoing.
The Deputy Prime Minister also called on borrowers to service their loans.
The truth is that too many of us do not attach high priority to such payments. We treat with every other payment but our debt payment obligations. Some may go as far as to suggest that the bank is owned by the state, so why should we pay? I will repeat, as we've done on numerous occasions, that when borrowers do not meet their obligation, it is the taxpayer of the country who will bear the cost. I therefore urge all of us who owes the bank to meet their obligations.
That's news, your sports highlights. Next.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
On the cricket scene, there were major wins for Pierre Charles Secondary and St. Mary's Academy in the school's Under-15 Boys Championship on Tuesday. The action began at Windsor Park, where Goodwill Secondary batted first and was dismissed for a meager 18 runs. Tyrese LeBlanc picked up 4 for 0 and Shaquem Thomas 4 for 8. In reply, SMA declared on 228 for 1 after 34.4 overs. Stephen Pascal smashed to 144, remaining undefeated. Kyron Phillip was not out on 37, while Ajanim Tavernier contributed 37. Batting a second time, GSS was again dismissed for a low total and finished on 16 runs. Tyrese LeBlanc bagged 4 for 0, Kyron Phillip 2 for 8, and Stephen Pascal 2 for 0. In the other match at Botanic Gardens, PCSS won the toss and batted first, scoring 144. Yawani Regis was most impressive with the bat and scored 86. He was supported by Ashwan Lockhart, who added 24. However, Lyndon Maxime provided some fightback for Dominica Grammar School when he took 7 wickets for 29 runs. In reply, DGS was bowled out for 42 runs, with their highest batting contributor being Shirkwan Tuse's 13. Ashwan Lockhart went through DGS batting lineup and took 4 for 10. Yawani Regis picked up 3 for 3 and Denick Ryan 2 for 14. Following on, DGS was all out for 33 runs. Jamal Lando scored 11. Denick Ryan snatched 6 for 3 and Ashwan Lockhart 3 for 6. PCSS won by an innings and 69 runs. Next up, basketball court renovation on the cards for a community in the south. This according to Sports Minister Justina Charles, who says work on the facility in Grand Bay will commence soon. Basketball is among the top sporting disciplines played here and had been significantly hampered because of Hurricane Maria. Charles says renovation at the court is part of continued community development projects.
I'm going to extend it into the basketball court because Matutu's court, where the basketball court was also damaged, and so we have the basketball court in center. So presently there are people beginning to work on the netball rim, the basketball rim for me. We're going to have to do a drain to ensure we can control the water and the area is not waterlogged. So all of those things are going to commence in the next week so that we can see improvement to those facilities.
The sports minister also reiterated the call for having a synthetic track here. She expressed concern with the urgency given to the establishment of the sporting facility and is hoping for a more prompt response from the powers that be.
We're still continuing to work with Social Security to secure the land for the Olympic Committee. So we are doing, it's just that for me as the Minister of Sport, sometimes I am a little disappointed. I find sometimes the bureaucracy, some things are just too slow, but other than that, as the minister, I think I just have to be persistent and to push and to push and to push and to speak maybe louder to ensure that I can see those things become a reality. But it will definitely, but it's just that sometimes the processes and with passage of Maria, everybody's attention kind of diverted, but recognizing the importance of sports, I think we need to push it even faster.
Still with renovation, Dominica's football home to undergo major repairs soon. The football house in Bath Estate was among infrastructure damaged because of Hurricane Maria. President of Dominica Football Association also says the body has been doing considerably well since then.
We all know what Maria did in terms of destruction in Dominica. We have a very, very destructive hurricane. I mean, no one here would ever want to see another Maria again. We have all different stories of Maria, and we have our own other football. Some of the glasses are that's damaged, but nevertheless we received some funding from FIFA to construct the ceilings and some of the things here. So we have signed a contract with a contractor. Work should start soon in that line. And DFE have signed up to all these events, regardless of the challenges we had facing us, Maria. So I'm not here blowing our trumpet, but we've done very satisfactorily in that league.
Back with more basketball, we can tell you that Dominica Grammar School and Dominica State College played to a close finish in action from the schools league on Tuesday. Playing at Lindo Park in a female encounter, State College's Kyla Winston scored an impressive 30 points for her team with 11 rebounds. Jade Powell also came in with 8 points, but that was not enough to defeat DGS. The combined efforts of Janae Seraphine 25 points, 11 rebounds and 4 steals, and Dexter Clark 12 points, 7 rebounds helped DGS secure the win. In the end, Dominica Grammar School won the match 48-46. The league continues on Thursday with Dominica State College boys up against St. John's Academy at Lindo Park from 3 in the afternoon. And finally, there was only one close finish in the round of 16 Island-wide Guineas forehand domino competition recently. The match between La Plaine and Valiance went down to the wire, with La Plaine winning by 86 points. Final scores: La Plaine 4,011, Valiance 3,925. In the other matches played, all the teams were knocked out of the competition. Metrics 4,018, Runners Boys 3,054. Dolphins 4,014, Rockers 3,139. Wake Up Stars 4,015, Remix 2,625. Golden Arms 4,006, Warriors 2,632. Baghdad 4,017, Swansea 3,397, Rebels 4,000, non-players 3,500, Public Enemies 4,028, and one case 3,039. The 8 teams qualifying for the quarterfinals carded for Sunday are Dolphins, Golden Arms, Laplane, Baghdad, Metrix, Rebels, Wake Up Stars, and Public Enemies. That's all the sports for now. Join us next time. To end the news, the headlines again. 8 Bank makes a profit in the last financial year despite lingering impact of Tropical Storm Erica. A motion challenging the Riot Act over 2015 Salisbury protests to be heard in May, and a major repair work on the cards for 2 sporting infrastructures here soon. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Kenny Williams. To our viewers around the world, thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.